Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, I wanted to just make a quick little video and talk about a few questions that you should ask your realtor if you're going to be selling your home. I definitely think that there's no shortage of realtors out there to work with, but it's super important to work with one that you just like and trust and connect with. And so I think it's really important to come up with a few questions before you start working with them, just to make sure that you're a good fit. And especially when it comes to selling your house, so you know that you're going to be getting the most out of your house and that you're just going to have the best experience possible. So let's jump right on in. So if you're going to be selling your house, one of the first questions that I think you should ask your realtor is, how did they come up with the listing price? Basically, when a realtor comes up with a listing price, they'll do what's called a CMA, or a comparative market analysis, and that's where they basically go through all of the homes that have recently sold in your area and find ones that are comparable to your house in terms of size and age and upgrades and everything like that. And then that's kind of how they'll arrive at a listing price. So I think it's important to just have some background on how they got that, so you can see for yourself if you think that's a fairly accurate price or not. But another thing that I do want to say is that I think it's important to be open to the listing price that your agent comes up with if they have some good data to back it up, even if it might not be what you want to hear, because chances are, if you want to list for a higher price and they're saying, you know, this is what homes have recently sold for, this is what I think it's probably worth, there's a good chance that it might just sit on the market for a while and kind of deter buyers at that point. So basically what I'm saying is just try to be open, but also don't be afraid to ask questions and make sure that they have some good data to back up the listing price that they come up with. The second question that I definitely think you should ask any listing agent before you agree to work with them is, what is your marketing plan? Selling a house is a lot more than just sticking a sign in the ground. It's all about how they're going to get exposure on your house, how they're going to attract buyers, and ultimately how they're going to sell it fastest and for the most money possible. So making sure that they have a good marketing plan is super important. And again, it's totally okay to ask those questions so that you can be sure that you're working with someone that's going to do the best job for you. Number 3 is, how should I prepare to sell my house? As soon as you agree to start working with a listing agent and start the process of getting your house up for sale, they should be able to give you their best tips for how to sell your house faster, and just anything that you can do to kind of make the process go as smoothly as possible. And this could be anything from just making some cosmetic fixes to maybe making some bigger upgrades to the house, or figuring out what your next move is going to be after you sell their house, just so that whole process isn't complicated for you. But this is a great question to ask your agent as soon as you want, really, just so you can have a good game plan in place and figure out what you guys can do to get your home sold quickly and, again, just for the most money possible. Number 4 is, how long do you think it will take my house to sell? And obviously this is something that they can't guarantee. It's going to vary by what the market's doing and where you're living and everything like that. But they should be able to give you a pretty good idea of how long it's taking homes to sell in your area and with similar houses. I know right now in Vegas, the majority of homes are selling in 30 days or less. So that'll kind of give you a good idea of the likelihood of your home selling in that time frame too. And number 5 is, how much will it cost to sell my house? Sellers pay different closing costs than buyers do. So if this is your first time, or if you're just not sure what those closing costs will look like for you, it's a great question to ask. And just so you can be prepared in terms of those fees. Your agent should also be able to give you a net proceeds sheet, which will kind of break down your costs at different sale prices of your house. So that'll kind of give you a better idea of what you can expect to spend depending on what your home sells for too. So that's really it. There's a few simple questions to think about if you're preparing to sell your house, or maybe if you're interviewing listing agents right now. But I hope those were helpful, just to kind of give you an idea of some good questions to ask, and just some things to talk about with your agent to make sure that you're a good fit and you're comfortable with what they're going to be doing to sell your house. But if you have any questions on any of this, or if you're in the Vegas area and are thinking about buying or selling or anything like that, feel free to drop any questions that you might have below, or I'll leave my contact information in the description box, and I'd love to help you guys out. So until my next video, bye guys.